Over 200 Seattle police officers are on the brink of losing their jobs over the city's COVID-19 vaccine mandate, either because they've not received the jab or are refusing to hand over their private medical data. How dystopian of them. Our next guest says the number represents about 20% of the department's deployable staff. So what will happen to the already disorderly city of Seattle if police officers lose their jobs? Let's ask Jason Rantz, host of the Jason Rantz Show and a Seattle local. Great to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
So the Seattle Police Department's already stretched thin. Feels like they can't afford to lose any more officers. What's going on here? I mean, you'd think that people in the city would say, hold on, we can't lose 20% of the deployable force over the vaccine mandate, can we? Or can they?
I don't think very many people in Seattle actually know what's on the line here. So Mayor Jenny Durkan, following in the footsteps of Governor Jay Inslee, instituted a mandatory vaccine proclamation. You have until October 18th to be fully vaccinated. But at the same time, you have about 200 officers who are either saying, no, I don't want to get the vaccine, or no, I don't think you have the right to tell me this, so I'm not going to do it. Now, the threat is of termination, both on the mayor's side, but also coming down from Governor Jay Inslee. His proclamation goes for all of the healthcare workers, all staff at a school, and all agency employees, which include the Washington State Troopers, which finds itself in almost an identical position as the Seattle Police Department goes. So we'll see how the city response and really how the state is going to respond. But at this point, unless something gives, and there's no indication that anything's going to give, the mayor's going to be in a position to fire about 200 officers for Seattle Police Department, which would put us at catastrophic numbers. Right now, we can't properly police the city. We have a deployable staff number of about 1,050 or so. We lost a third of the officers, about 300, since last year, and all of the nonsense surrounding the defund the police movement. So this is not looking good for the SPD.
What do the officers who would be affected by this, what is their position, their counter proposal, Jason? Is it just they oppose the mandate, or there was a personal medical history issue? Just what do they want here? Do they want more time? Tell us about their side of it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of mixed commentary coming from SPD, because on the one hand, you've got the people, like I said, who just don't want to take the vaccine and or have been vaccinated, just think this is government overreach. You do have others who are saying it's kind of unfair to throw this on us with such little notice. Why are you not accommodating our request not to get vaccinated, whereas the last 17 months, you've accommodated all of us not being vaccinated, right? Up until recently, when the vaccine became widely available, you were having police officers go out into the field using PPE or covering their face with a mask. Why all of a sudden is it so dangerous, given the context of the more people we're coming into contact with now? They're vaccinated. They're almost all vaccinated. We have in Seattle somewhere between a 70 and 82% rate of either got the first shot or fully vaccinated. So it doesn't really make sense. There are still, however, some negotiations going on, because this was subject to impact bargaining with the Seattle Police Officers Guild. But so far, like I said, doesn't seem to be any give. In a related story that's not about cost, but about teachers. Just yesterday, Tuesday at 4 p.m. is when the religious exemption and medical exemption forms went out to the staff members who, under this proclamation, had to be fully vaccinated by October 18th. The reason why it's important that it came out yesterday, well, this past Monday was when the last day was to get the Moderna the Moderna vaccination in order to be fully vaccinated by October 18th. So they're running out the clock, and it seems like they're putting all these people in positions where they're either going to be forced into getting this vaccine against their will, or they're going to risk losing their jobs.
Washington Governor Inslee announced the mandate late last month. Let's just see what he said.
We will be requiring our state workers and our contractors who come onto our sites, and workers in private health care and long-term care settings, to be vaccinated as a condition of further employment. Individuals covered by this order I will issue today will have until October 18th to become fully vaccinated against the COVID disease.
That was on August 9th of last month there. And Jason, I'm just wondering, do we have any knowledge at this point, any indication as to whether booster shots will also be a contingent issue for those who are employed by the state? Do we know?
They haven't spoken specifically to it, but I think it's fairly clear that that's the direction that this governor will go in. And I think in that clip, I think it's really important to point out, he says, as a condition of employment. The reason why they do that is because the people who get terminated, as of right now, unless their unions are able to make some sort of special accommodations or special deals, if you get fired for not getting vaccinated, you are not eligible for unemployment. So in the state of Washington, you will not have any kind of safety net afterwards if you're being pushed out of a job through no fault of your own for failing to comply with a vaccine mandate that just came out of nowhere, which, by the way, applies to people regardless of their age, regardless of whether or not they already had COVID. I think that's an incredibly important piece here, because anytime anyone pushes back against these mandates, they say, you're anti-vax. I'm not anti-vax. I am pro-vaccine if you want one. And I think people should have those conversations with their doctors. I just don't believe that it's the government's right to force any kind of private medical decision on people. I just think that's wrong.